Hi there, I'm Granny and this is Granny's Maintenance and Woodwork for Women. Today we're talking about clearing the pipe under the kitchen sink, which is the same as clearing the pipe under the laundry sink. If the water in your sink is draining very slowly, you have a partial obstruction. If it's not draining at all and the plug's not in, you'll have a complete obstruction. Now you don't need to be a plumber to want to protect your home. You do need a moment of calm, you do need the right tools and someone to guide you. So that's where I come in. This is not just about clearing the drain, but it's also about building confidence through action. So we're going to do this together. So let's get started. Okay, tools. What are you going to need? Firstly, rubber gloves. It's a pretty messy environment down there. You want to protect any wounds. This is the main tool I use. It's called multi-grips. Now, I bought this specifically for this, although I should have bought these ages ago for other things. As you can see, I can adjust the grip. If I've got a hose clamp that big, and I need to undo it, like a PVC connector rather, I can get this thing big enough to get over that, to hang on to it, to be able to loosen it or to tighten it, okay? This is an exceptionally big one, but my pipe's pretty big. I measured it was about 8 to 9 centimetres, so I needed quite a large multi-grip. Now, because I've got a dishwasher also entering into this hose, it's on a very small port and a smaller hose, and it had a hose clamp over it. A hose clamp is a little metal ring and it's got a little screw on it to loosen it or to tighten it. I'm going to loosen it off, so I used a medium-sized screwdriver. Now, I also used 2 sink plugs because I've got 2 sinks, so they need to be in while I'm disconnecting down here. I don't want any more water going down that sink. I also had a plastic sheet, and it has to make sure it has not got holes. Now, my plastic sheet's like, yay, that big. You're going to need 2 towels, and you're going to need a bowl this size or bigger to go directly under that S-trap that you're removing, okay, because that's where the water's going to drain. The pipe goes like that. I can guarantee there'll be water in the bottom sitting there. So when you take that off, it's going to leak. This is going to catch it. And if you have overflow, you have a bucket to pour it into to keep adding. So they're the tools you're going to need. You're also going to use this thing called plumber's tape. It's also referred to as plumber's tape. It's in a white and blue container or a white and white container. It looks a little bit like white Glad wrap. See how it just touches you and just hangs on to you. It's excellent for putting over the thread of any pipe fitting. Even you tap out the back when you're connecting your hose fitting, put a bit of that on if it's got a bit of leak and it'll seal it nicely. Plumber's tape, it's only about $2 worth. Okay, now I've got all my tools. I need cleaning tools. I used a great big screwdriver to scrape the inside of that tube. I also used a kitchen brush. It's fairly thin. It's good for getting down sort of around that corner. I use that to scrub, and because the dishwasher attachment's on the side, it's only a small port, I used a bottle brush. I used water and a bit of detergent to rinse it out and give it a really good scrub with my brush, and I tipped all of that into the bucket. And then I ran some hot water through the pipe. If there's any residue for oils, it'll help wash it out. Okay, I've cleaned it. So they're all the tools. Okay, here we go. You're going to place your plastic sheet on the bottom cupboard directly under those pipes, because when you undo those pipes, you're going to suddenly have all that water that's backed up come pouring out. So the plastic sheet is there to protect your cupboard. A towel folded 4 times, placed on that plastic sheet to absorb any water that comes through. Then your container is going to sit on that towel directly under those pipes. Now that's going to catch the water before you go any further. You're also going to have a bucket by your side, because if you've got quite a bit of water backed up, that's going to come pouring out that hose. And this isn't going to catch much. It'll catch it, pour it into the bucket. More, pour it into the bucket. That's why you need a nice thick towel to catch it. You do not want your cupboards getting wet. I've got a double kitchen sink. So I've got 2 basins, and I'm going to have 2 drain holes where your plug goes in. And both of those generally link up into one pipe. So I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see under my sink. And if you have a look, here is the pipe directly under sink number 1. And if I go around the corner, here's sink number 2, and the pipe leading to it comes down. It's got one pipe going down under the cupboard, and you will see a U-shaped pipe. And then you will see it come back up here again, and then it goes out the wall here. That's your waste. what we're going to do today is we want to take this pipe out because it's the one where all the sludge comes. It'll come from this sink and this sink. Now, if you've got water going down very slowly and you've got two sinks, one's going down slowly and the other's not, if it was the one on the left was going slowly and this one, the one on the right wasn't, I'd say there's a blockage up here, in which case you can undo this up here. Okay, I haven't got a blockage, but I'm going to do this as maintenance once a year. If I do it as maintenance once a year, I'm going to give that pipe a good clean out because being the lowest point, that's where the bulk of the sludge is going to go. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking this off, and I've got another fitting just here at the top of my U-pipe. Okay, so I'm taking that fitting off to take this pipe out, and then I'm going to clean it. Okay, I've got my trusty multi-grips, and I'm going to open this right up to help me to undo this. Now, which way is it going? Left, loosey, right, tight. Remember that saying? Okay, I'm turning it left. Okay, that's the fitting it's going to go on to. Alright, now we need to undo the bottom one. Okay, here we go. Undo the bottom one. Okay, it's tight, so I'll use my multi-grips again. And this is a pretty big multi-grip, I might add. Oh, it's loose, and let's see if that helps. That's got it. This pipe here is to do with your dishwasher, and unless you've got a blockage in your dishwasher, we don't have to worry about it. Now, can you see a bit of water dripping in there? So I've got my plugs in, but it's obviously a bit wastewater. That plastic towel is to catch any excess water. Right. Okay. Oh, smelly. It's a bit smelly. Okay, that's that one undone. Now I've got one more fitting to undo. I am going to have to take that hose clamp off my pipe because that's stopping me from pulling that pipe out, and I'll show you how to put it back on in a minute. So what I'm doing first is just unscrewing it. This type of clamp that's on it tightens up with a little screwdriver. Ooh, there goes my light source. Okay, hopefully that's loose enough. No, not quite. Okay, we've pretty well got it. Like I said, you can see this. Ah, there it is. It's come off. So what I've done is I've loosened this. You can see that was a little side port. That's where this hose goes onto it. And this is a clamp. Its only job is to go really tight. Now, if you have a look at this, this has got a lip in which you want to get this hose over that lip and the clamp. So the clamp would normally, to put it back, you're going to put the clamp up there and you're going to push that until you've wiggled it, over that down here, and then you're going to tighten this, and then you won't get any leakage from there. Okay, now we're going to take this into the laundry where I've got a bucket waiting, and we're going to clean it into the bucket, not into the laundry sink. Here is our S-pipe, the one we just pulled out, or our U-pipe in this particular case. Here we have our lock at one end, we have a lock for the other end, and we have our extension here for the dishwasher. Now, have a look at these. If I drop these down, you'll see a black ring around there. Well, you'll see a black ring around there, and you'll also see a black ring up here, although it looks pretty dirty. They are your seals. Now, when you put these on, they have to be nice and firm, okay? So that'll be the hard part. Now, have a look inside these pipes. Aren't they disgusting? How about that one? Ugh. All right, we're going to pop this into the bucket, and I'm going to give it a damn good scrub, and I'm actually going to use a great long big screwdriver to get right down there to remove that crap. Okay, we're putting this pipe back up, and we're going to join it with this one now. So let's get some lights happening in here. All right, don't forget I've got this little port here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this round this way to get that out, and then I'm going to turn it the right way around, and then I'm going to move over this pipe so that can go there. Now, I'm going to get my joiner down the bottom, and I'm going to line that up. Now, this is where I've got to be careful and and not cross the thread. Okay. Now when you put the fitting on the tap, your hose on the tap, you don't want to cross the thread. Okay. Up we go, nice and tight all the way to the top. And we're going to do the same at the other end. Now, that's in place. I'm actually going to come and do this one now, and then I'll sort that out properly. Okay, I've had to move that over, and that slipped up into this pipe here. Did you see that? Okay, so I've moved that over, and I've slipped it up. Now, again, I'm going to line this up so I don't cross threads. Okay, now it seems okay. Now, before I do that, here's my plumber's tape. I'm going to use this stuff. They call this stuff dope. I don't know why. Maybe it's for dopes. I don't know. But I've been using it, and plumbers used it for years. I put over threads. It just make sure the right thing seals nicely. Okay, and then I'm just going to snap that off, and it just rolls over on itself like that. Okay, now here we go. We're lined up. We're in the correct spot. I can see that black rubber ring all the way around. I'm going to bring this up. Now I'm lined up. I think we are. Okay, let's put that up. Now, don't get me wrong, some of this isn't the easiest thing to do because it's in an awkward spot. They're awkward fittings to undo, and whoever cut this kitchen cupboard, they didn't allow a lot of hole around that. They've done a really good job, so you haven't got great big holes where the plumbing goes through. Now I'm going to put that fairly tight because I do not want to leak, and the same with the bottom one. I'm going to tighten it right up now. Now because I didn't put any plumber's dope on this, if I get a leak, I'm going to have to undo that bottom one. Right, this little guy, he's got to go back where he came from. I'm going to put the little, I've forgotten what these things are called, but they're a little seal. And what happens is you use your screwdriver to tighten these little seals. Can you see that little screw? So by tightening that, you're making it smaller and smaller. That screws and that moves that metal inside of it across, so that gets, this hole gets smaller and smaller. We want it as big as it can be to start with, so we haven't got much resistance. I don't want it to come all the way out or I'll bugger it up. I'm going to slip that over here. It's got to go over the bump that was on that pipe. So I'm going to move it right up the back. Now this is where I've got to get this thing over that bump. Here we go, that's going over nicely. Oh, all the way. Yes. Now I'm going to slip that silly little nut. Okay, it's wrong side. I want it this side where I can see it. Okay, now I've got that as far as I can. And now I've got to tighten it. Now that's going to be interesting. There it is. Okay, this is where I use a screwdriver. Left loosey, right tight, tighty. So right is tight. And I want a nice tight seal around this so there's no leak from water from my dishwasher when it spits out the rubbish. I think that seems pretty good. I hope that's nice and tight. It seems to be. Okay, so next test. Take out the plug. Now we're doing the right sink. That'll be filling this one up. And that water's getting away beautifully. There's no drips anywhere, is there? No? Okay, now we're going to take the plug out of the other side and do exactly the same thing. We're going to put the water on that side. So the water will be coming down here and down there, and then up here and outside. Beautiful. Okay, we have no leaks, so that did a really good job. But if you thought you had a leak, don't forget to use your plumber's dope if you need it. It's only worth about $2 when you buy these things. Okay, look, this is a task you should probably do yearly as a maintenance thing to prevent you getting a blockage. Things like oil and milk, don't ever put them down the sink. Okay, oils, when they're hot, are liquids. As soon as they go cool, they solidify. Milk congeals when it goes off. They are great traps for everything else that goes down your sink and will eventually block it off. So I tend to put mine right up the backyard where I'm not walking and I don't see it. And I quite often put the oil out there when it's hot because it's liquid. I can get rid of it all. I don't want it going down my sink. Now, if that towel's dry tomorrow, you've done it. You've protected your cupboard, you've cleaned your pipe, and you've proved to yourself you're more than capable. Give yourself a pat on the back. No more giving yourself criticism when you make a mistake. Every human being makes mistakes. All of us. This isn't just about maintenance. This is about building self-reliance, and that takes courage. And today, you nailed it. So hopefully I'll see you next week, and we're going to change a few tap washers. You know those rotten things when you turn the tap off and it keeps dripping and it keeps leaking and you just want to rip it out and throw it out the window. Okay, we're going to do that. So I'll see you next Sunday. And if you think the video was worth it, give it a little like and a subscribe and see where else we end up. Okay, see you next week.